Hey guys, thanks for checking out this music pack. I'm really excited about this one actually because it's a combination of a lot of smaller fantasy action RPG music packs that I've been releasing lately. So this pack combines battles, dungeons, exploration, and menus all into one package. And so here's the full list of files right here. Again, organized battles. Here's queues, that's in the menus one. Dungeons, exploration, and menus, also in the menus one, obviously. And yeah, let me just break down the track names and some of the things that you'll see here. So if it says loop in all caps, obviously that means it's going to be loopable. If it doesn't, then it's not loopable. You'll also see some variations of a lot of these tracks, like Against the Winds, no drums, or Against the Winds, no drums, loops. That just means, obviously it's the same song, but with no drums. You'll also see something called alt next to some of these, so cues number 1 alt. That just means it's an alternative version of that track. In the dungeons folder specifically, the naming file is a bit different. So the mood first, and then the track name, and then whether it's loopable. So dark, Into the Catacombs, loop. Light, Misty Mornings. Neutral, Exploring the Temple, loop, etc. Exploration, you'll see some tracks have underscore. This is in all these. Every now and then you'll see that underscore. That just means it's without the melody, so it's great for background stuff. And then menus has something specific where there are short loops, so I just put short right at the beginning of the track, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But let's just listen to some of these. So here's Against the Winds from the Battles pack. Some of these in the Battles pack have drums only loops. So for example, here is Rituals, just the normal version. And here's Rituals drums only. Let's move on to cues. So cues, these were created with the intention of when you level up or when you get a new quest or something like that in your fantasy game, then you hear one of these. So here's, for example, here's number 1. Level up, right? Here's number 5. Number 10B. Etc. So let's move on to dungeons. Here's one of the dark tracks, Mental Obsessions. I forgot to mention this earlier, but let's check out some of the looping capabilities of these tracks. So I'm going to put this in Logic Pro. This is just what I use to create music. So it's not going to manipulate the audio in any way. It's just reading an audio file. And here it is, just on its own. And I'm going to repeat this loop so that it loops. And I'll play from the end of this track here. So there's our loop. While we're talking about loops, see earlier we listened to Against the Winds. Here's how that loops. Here's how actually just the looping track in and of itself ends if it's not looping. So very abrupt, right? But then this is how it loops within a looping pattern. Pretty cool. Okay, here we'll listen to some more of these in the dungeons. Here's The Forgotten Village, a neutral dark dungeon track. Here's The Merchant's Cave, one of my favorites from this folder. And I'll do one more dark one. Here is Reverse Psychology. This track is cool because it features instruments that are playing in reverse. So I took the audio file and flipped it. So instead of going do, it's going zhup. If that doesn't make sense, just listen. Those sounds, those reversed instrument sounds. All of these are definitely worth a deep dive and a deep listen because you can find some really creative spots of where they fit in your game. There's a huge variety within all of these, but obviously they still fit within fantasy, action RPG genre. So let's go to the exploration one. These tracks are heavily influenced by the music of Skyrim and Oblivion when you're just out exploring the world. Here's one of my favorites, Fields of Grain. And for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm just going to skip halfway through. Love that one. Sometimes I could just get lost away in it. That one also has some piano versions. So a piano loop and then a piano alternative underscore loop. Here's just what the regular piano version of Fields of Grain sounds like. And again, for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm just going to skip halfway through. Here's Northern Village. Let's check out Forest, because these have alternative versions. So I'll just play the first 40 seconds or so of Forests, and then I'll play the first 40 seconds or so of Forest Alternative. Here's the alternative version of Forests, giving you an alternative intro to the song. Foggy Meadows is similar. It has different instrumentation for each version, but for the sake of time, I won't go into those right now. Let's go to the last folder, Menus, and I'm going to start with these short ones, short action, short peaceful loops. So these have no main melody in them, and their whole purpose is just to stay way behind. A good place to use these would be something like a pre-loadout screen before you go out into a battle, or something of that nature. Here's short action number 1, and I'll demonstrate the looping capability once again. Short action number 1, loop. And we'll repeat that so it loops. So there we go, seamless loop. Every time I hear that track, I can just hear clicking and UI sound effects just at the forefront. Here's short action number 3. Here's one of the peaceful shorts, short peaceful number 5 loop. And then the rest of these in the menus folder are kind of the complete opposite. They are mainly created to be in the forefront, although some of them have alterations and underscores, so they don't have to be. But they're mainly created to be the main title music or credits music or something of that nature. Here's Chosen One, heavily inspired by main titles from Oblivion. It's a really fun one. Here's final stance, and you'll notice there's an underscore version and a loop version. So again, underscore means no melody. So here's just the normal version, final stance. So in the underscore version, it just removes that bum bum, that trombone playing the melody there. So let's go ahead and hear that. And I'll skip to where the melody would have come in. Gives you a lot of variety there, which is pretty cool. And of course, there are loopable versions for both of those, the normal and the underscore. Land of Heroes is really cool. It's a song that it has a very distinct intro that's really low key, and then it goes into two other sections that are more upbeat and almost kind of battle-esque or heroic-esque. And I've split up all those sections for you. So there's the full track, Land of Heroes, and then there's just the intro and a loop of that. Alternative 1 version, which is just, it cuts out the intro, so it's just the upbeat stuff. And then alternative 2 is just another alternative version of the upbeat stuff. So yeah, I've milked out a ton of it for you. And there's even just a drums only loop from Land of Heroes. Well, that about concludes this walkthrough here. So thank you guys so much for checking this out. Please email me if you have any questions, and especially email me if you're looking for custom music for your game. I'd be happy to chat about it. Thank you so much and have a great day.